Delighted to say that also in the room we're with Jackie Ross. And I think, Jackie, you have told many of the stories in English and often also in Doric, your mother tongue. Um, I think I'm probably the person who's told most of the stories, but I think you come a close second in terms of the number of stories you've retold. So we really appreciate your solidarity standing with the children of Gaza, Jackie. Please would you tell us a story that you learned from Noor?
Noor.
Noor and her sister Lama here, and this is Noor on the left with a parakeet on her head.
Noor is some storyteller. She has told so many wonderful stories. As have so many of the children, and it's hard to decide which one to tell, David, but I have chosen one that Noor told, the city under attack. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a city under attack. Its citizens had been surrounded. The enemy would not let anyone out, and they would not let any food in. The people were desperate. They were at their wits' end. Should they surrender, or should they continue? Should they hold on to their pride and starve to death? For they were starving. The leader of the city, desperate, decided there was no option but to surrender, to throw themselves at the mercy of their enemy. And he ordered that the drawbridge be lowered. But an old woman forced her way through the crowd and shouted, "Stop, stop! I can save this city. I can save it if you get me a cow." "A cow?" scoffed the crowd. "Where are we going to find a cow in this city? We are starving. There is no cow in the city." But the old woman said, "There will be a cow somewhere. We just need to look." And so the people started to search. And sure enough, before long, they heard a gentle moo coming from the basement of a selfish family. A family who had kept this cow for its milk, not to share with others, but to keep for themselves. Well, the cow was taken to the old woman, and she said, "Good. Now I need to fill these 2 buckets with grain." "But we have so little left. How can we fill 2 buckets with grain?" And she said, "If we all give a little, we will manage." And she poured the last of her own grain into the first bucket. Soon others followed. They came with a handful or 2 small handfuls, and soon the buckets were full. The old woman took the buckets and tipped them out in front of the cow. The crowd were aghast. "She's feeding the cow our food?" The leader said, "We are in no worse a position than we were this morning. Let us trust the old woman. Let us go home to our beds, and we will see what happens in the morning. We can be in no worse position than we were today." Well, the cow greedily ate all the grain, and when it was finished, the old woman got the soldiers to open the gate of the city, and she pushed the cow out, and quickly they closed the gate again. It wasn't long before the enemy soldiers rounded up the cow and took it to their general. He laughed. He said, "One cow will not make us more generous, but they had a cow. This is amazing. But we will enjoy it. We will eat this cow." For they too were hungry. Their resources were dwindling, and they were scarce of food. So the cow was put to the kitchens, and it was served up to the hungry army. Later, one of the kitchen aides came to the general and said, "General, when I cut open the cow's stomach, out poured buckets of undigested grain." The general went white. Undigested grain? How could these people feed their cows? How have they got the resources to do that? Surely they are better fortified than we thought. Surely they are waiting for us to grow weak, and then they will attack us. And that very night he ordered for his camp to be packed up, and the enemy went home to their own country. And the city was saved by the cow, the 2 buckets of grain, and the old woman. Thank you, Noor, for such a powerful story, and let's hope that we can see that story as an emblem of what might happen.
Thank you, Jackie. It's such an amazing story that Noor told, and you've just done Noor proud by retelling it in her name so beautifully. We need wise women like that. Well, one of the most prolific young
Sorry, David. Sorry, you're right. We do need wise women like that. It would be nice to have some wise men too. Because unfortunately, they're the ones who have the power at the moment, it seems.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.